Today we're talking about Marvel Studios' tendency to bring me a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day each time it comes out with a new superhero movie. You know, it's lost that comedic touch that used to be surprising and hilarious, but now feels as predictable as a jump scare in a horror flick. Remember the good old days when Marvel was actually funny? It was. It may not seem like that now, but, more than a decade ago, Marvel was actually pretty darn funny. Especially back during that iconic moment in the Avengers when Hulk silenced Loki's atrocious monologue by beating him into the pavement, on back and forth on multiple occasions. That was pretty funny. But now it's become formulaic and boring, and Marvel just isn't what it used to be.
The damage is not too bad. As long as the foundations are still strong, we can rebuild this place. It will become a haven for all peoples and aliens of the universe. Now those foundations are gone, sorry.
Seriously, Marvel humor has gone from fresh to completely stale. I used to love it, but now it's a bad joke that won't stop repeating. Serious scenes are hijacked by out-of-place jokes, and it's all for the sake of the casual audience. Marvel seems to have forgotten its roots, leaving us, the loyal comic book fans, feeling betrayed.
Meek, where are you from?
Oh, Mick's dead.
Oh.
Yeah, and I accidentally stomped on him on the bridge. I just feel so guilty. I've been carrying him around all day. Oh, Mick, you're alive! He's alive, guys. What was your question again, bro?
Nowadays, quite a lot of the humor tends to completely ruin scenes and undercut emotional moments, and it's quite annoying. It seems to me that the end of the MCU came with Infinity War and Endgame. It was an epic culmination of the MCU, and it gave us a roller coaster of emotions with its continual high stakes narratives. Yet, in the midst of this intense journey, Marvel couldn't resist yanking us out of the moment, as it continues to do. One of the worst jokes in all of the MCU, according to me, is that Taserface joke in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But the second worst joke might be the infamous Drax scene where he pretends to be invisible. It was popular with a lot of people on Twitter, and they seem to call for more moments like that, or X, or whatever you want to call it. But it just seems to ruin a lot of these shows and not be all that great. Thor: Love and Thunder also had a bunch of terrible jokes that weren't funny at all. And that movie had a god killer that didn't actually kill any gods, so it was pretty disappointing overall. And some responses from James Gunn suggest that he was getting sick of it, so he decided to move on. And hopefully he won't ruin the new DC universe, but we'll have to wait and see. One of the biggest issues with the MCU is the total lack of tension.
Is there any competition between the different sects, the different groups?
There's no competition for me because I'm the strongest, so it's just kind of like a different...
Well, you should let her think that, but yeah.
It's not. As
You
I've
are.
said before, it's not. It's just a fact. It's not a personal opinion.
No,
and it's
no.
not a reflection on what you can't do. But it is also kind of a reflection on all that you
It's
can do.
just that you just don't feel strong. But she's really smart, and but should we have a fight?
And she can eat bacon
I feel like we're
nobody's
fighting right
business.
now. I think it's been an all-day thing.
I'm covering.
And she eats bacon.
Oh, like nobody's business.
A lot.
There's just too much humor, and the Thor movies are proof of that. Thor used to be a well-rounded character who seemed to be on a path towards righteousness. He certainly exemplified that in Thor Ragnarok. But now Chris Hemsworth himself is complaining that Thor has become, quote, too silly, unquote. And let's not even get started on Fat Gamer Thor from Endgame and those stupid advertisements for that video game that will be there forever. Can we get some serious superhero vibes without turning everything into a comedy sketch? Even the actors are speaking up. Hemsworth has admitted that Thor Love and Thunder completely went off the rails.
My name is Jamar. I come from afar. Allahu Akbar!
Молодцы, ребята. Well done.
It's apparent that Marvel might be making some attempt at family-friendly humor, but they are failing miserably. They have a plethora of shows, but not every hero needs to be cracking jokes like it's an open mic night for amateur comics. Disney's family-friendly approach might be causing more harm than good. Flops like She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Ms. Marvel, The Marvels, and Ant-Man Quantumania show that the forced humor isn't resonating with fans. The family-friendly formula enforced by Disney seems to be a double-edged sword, evident in recent disappointments like the shows mentioned previously. These shows, saturated with forced humor, highlight the growing disconnect between the studio's attempt to appeal to a broad audience and the fans' desire for more nuanced and authentic storytelling. That's really the key. It's a reminder that not every superhero story needs to be wrapped in a comic bow, and perhaps it's time for Marvel to reevaluate its approach and give fans a more diverse range of narratives. A big part of the problem is the MCU model is one where they're aiming to make $1 billion for every movie. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars producing the film and hundreds of millions of dollars more advertising it. So they have decided to go with a strategy that's very, very formulaic and predictable, which makes it boring. It's not just about being fun anymore, it's about being predictably funny. Every serious moment in Marvel now comes with an expectation. Cue the dumb punchline joke. It's like waiting for that one friend who always ruins the mood with an ill-timed comment. Marvel, we've loved you in the past, but we need a break from the comedy onslaught. So the question remains, why is Marvel so afraid of making a serious film? Why can't Marvel just do something different? We had Captain America: The Winter Soldier, a spy thriller that was all serious business. No laughs from the villain, just straight up action intensity. Even the original Iron Man had some weight to it, tackling terrorism, globalization, and personal accountability. But now we've got Guardians and Ragnarok, and hey, those are funny, right? The first Guardians of the Galaxy movie was weighty and interesting. And they were funny because directors Gunn and Waititi are funny guys, and Marvel was trying to shake things up. They've hit hero saturation at this point, though, so they throw in some comedy, too much comedy, into different genres like heist, and so on and so forth. But we have had a number of other movies that were quite popular, like Logan and Days of Future Past. Those were the furthest things from being films based on humor. But those, of course, were not Marvel Studios. Sometimes 20th Century Fox, which Disney owns now, and Sony can make films that are quite good. The Winter Soldier was a Marvel Studios film, but it seems to me that the Russo brothers are the only ones that can make a real quality film anymore at Marvel. So maybe they'll come back. They've said they have thought about doing it for Secret Wars when that movie comes around eventually. So maybe they can help reinvent the genre once again. But Disney has forgotten who its main customers are, you know? These people who are interested in great stories about heroes. So they've forgotten about other great shows like Daredevil and even Jessica Jones. Because they're Disney, they don't want to do anything dark. But Disney needs to stop worrying and learn to love the bomb. Let's embrace a little bit of darkness, a little bit of seriousness, so that we can get a bit of variety. Just give us a Marvel movie that we all want to show up for.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.